How do you create thought leadership ads on LinkedIn? That's an interesting question because the people asking it have already figured out something most advertisers never do. They've realized that people don't want to be sold. They don't like being interrupted by a commercial. They understand that it's much more valuable if you can build trust with people before you promote. So they decide, okay, instead of paying to put promotional content in front of people, I'll pay to put thought leadership content in front of people. The theory is that this will build trust with people first. In other words, they think the solution is to use ads to force thought leadership content in front of people. So in this episode, I want to challenge the question itself. Are thought leadership ads on LinkedIn a good way to build trust? Not because thought leadership content is bad, quite the opposite. I think thought leadership content is one of the most powerful marketing assets a business can create. But if your goal is to build trust, generate leads, and become the recognized authority in your space, there may be a much better way to accomplish that goal. By the end of this episode, you'll have a lot more clarity and know exactly what to do to build trust and generate referral quality leads. Let's dive right in. I'll start by giving credit where credit is due. The marketers behind thought leadership ads, they have good intentions. Most businesses have realized that traditional advertising has a problem. It interrupts people. It causes people to put up their defenses. They're skeptical, they're cautious, they're resistant. So businesses started asking a better question. What if we educated first? What if we shared expertise first? What if we built trust before asking for the sale? I love that thinking. That's exactly the right direction, but in my mind, it's applied totally wrong. Instead of interrupting people with promotional content, they interrupt people with educational content. The goal improved, but the delivery method stayed the same. And I would imagine the ad spend goes way up. They're still paying to force content in front of people who weren't looking for it. Now, can it work? I'm sure it's working for some. If you're currently running thought leadership ads on LinkedIn and it's working, you're generating profitable clients, well, don't stop doing it just because you're watching this video. Keep doing what's working. In fact, comment below if it's working for you. I'd be fascinated to see the numbers and see the return on your investment. But I'd also encourage you to consider something else. What if instead of paying to push your expertise in front of people, you positioned your expertise so people could discover it on their own? Now that's a very different approach, but think about what happens when someone has a problem. They don't usually open LinkedIn hoping an ad will solve their problem. They search. They go to Google, they search YouTube, they ask ChatGPT, they describe their problem, explaining their situation, and they look for answers. And when they find someone who can help them, trust begins to form naturally. Not because they were targeted, not because they were interrupted, but they were actually actively looking for help. Did you see the difference? One approach starts with interruption, the other starts with need. One approach tries to create trust after attention is captured, the other builds trust because the person was searching for answers. That's why the quality of these leads is often so different. Now think about a referral. Why are referrals so valuable? Because trust already exists. Someone you trust recommended that person. The sales process starts in a completely different place. When someone discovers your expertise through search, something very similar to referrals happens. They've consumed your content, they've learned from you, they've received value from you, and by the time they reach out, most of the relationship building has already happened. Now, let's talk about thought leadership itself, because I think many people confuse thought leadership content with actual thought leadership. They're not the same thing. You can create thought leadership content and still not be a thought leader. You can run ads to educational content and still not be the recognized authority in your category. Real thought leadership happens when people consistently find you whenever they're looking for answers in your space. When they search one question, they find you. When they search another question, they find you again. So everywhere someone enters your topic, they find you at the top. You become the authority. You become the trusted source, so you are the thought leader. The biggest opportunity is creating thought leadership content around the exact questions that your dream clients are asking. Not the topics that are trending and everyone else is talking about, but the questions that your dream clients are regularly asking. What are they typing into Google? What are they searching for on YouTube? What are they asking ChatGPT? Those questions become your content strategy. And instead of posting it on LinkedIn, you post it where it gets indexed and will be found. That content becomes discoverable, and it keeps working. It keeps building momentum. It keeps bringing in new people into your world month after month, year after year. I've learned that the biggest opportunities for thought leadership exist elsewhere, not on LinkedIn anymore. So we're talking Google, we're talking YouTube, and increasingly AI tools like ChatGPT. Those are places where people go when they're actively searching for answers. So if your goal is to build trust and become the authority in your category and generate high quality, referral quality leads, then that's where I would focus my attention. Not because thought leadership ads are bad, but because thought leadership content will get much better results elsewhere. In my next episode titled, "What is Thought Leadership?" I show you the steps to find the questions your audience is asking. I teach you where to post that content and show you how to own your category to become the go-to thought leader in your industry. I'll see you there.